I thought that shit was old.
I guess I use Outlook for... No, I use... What do I use? Is it Outlook? I think I use Outlook for like my engineering job. But anyways, so Scott, you were a little late, but Dylan and I were thinking maybe we would start with the listener questions. One, while you're still kind of awake, and two,
Yeah, dude,
before Drew gets on, then we can talk about Cyclocross Nats.
All right.
But I don't want to like repeat that conversation.
Honestly, it sounds like neither you nor Drew really want to talk about cyclocross.
No, I'll talk about it.
Oh, there's got to be lots
All
to
right.
talk about. Come on.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a lot to talk about, but both of you guys had bad races, so
Yeah, but I'll still talk about it.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
fun.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's just do listener questions. Dylan, do you have any that you have pulled up yet? If not, I'll start.
No, go for
There's
it.
like I got like 20 of them.
Yeah,
There's a whole bunch.
you go for it. You go for it.
Okay, well that one's for Dizzle, so we'll hold that one. Okay, first question we have from Carson Turner.
Adam, we can't hear you.
Adam, your Wi-Fi
says,
sucks ass.
Mine?
I think so.
What is it doing?
Whatever you just
Is it
said,
cutting
we
out?
couldn't hear. We
No,
couldn't hear
it's
you.
cutting out, and your face is all like fuzzy a little bit.
Dude,
Does it look like
my
that to you?
computer, like, it's like in update mode right now. I don't know. It's like asking me to update everything with Microsoft.
Stop using Microsoft.
Let me just close a bunch of stuff. This is not good. Well, now I can't see you, Scott. You're like, your screen's just blank.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
It's okay.
It
You
still
don't need to see
records.
Scott.
Yeah, it's a fucking podcast.
All right.
Dude, Microsoft.
I think we're back now.
Get out of here. Well, yeah, I know. Now I got to open up my email again though because I had to close everything in order to get it to go. Oh my gosh. Can you pull up the email while I'm trying to figure this out?
Sure. Did you delete all of them? Dude, you deleted all of them.
They're all in the listener. They're in the listener questions folder.
Oh, you have a different.
There's so many emails. You have to create another.
Wow,
folder.
you have a different folder for listener questions. All right.
How many emails are you getting to this email?
Enough.
Yeah, we got a lot. Where do we start with Daniel?
Yeah,
No.
we can talk about Daniel's response to you, I guess. We already did his question last week.
Oh, I am all over the place. You sorted the email in a way that I don't know how. I don't know what I'm doing.
So all the ones that are unread, we haven't read yet. So just read, just open one that hasn't been opened yet.
Okay. I got it. All right.
How else do emails work? I mean,
No, you're right. All right. Hi, I think interval. This comes from PP. His name is
He's messing
capital
with
P,
us.
capital P, capital P. Hi, I think interval training is very much bike specific, but is base training bike specific, or is it somewhat less specific? If I do most of my base training on my road bike, will it give me the base I need for my MTB? Dylan, do you intentionally split your base training between your gravel and MTB bikes, or do you just ride what you feel like in the base phase? All right.
you know that you can just say mountain bikes, right? That's what that stands for.
Are you talking to me or are you talking to PP?
You, I guess. You're the one who's reading it.
That's what he
MTB
said.
equals mountain bike.
Dude, you don't know what he means by MTB.
Okay, yeah, maybe PP's got a different definition for MTB.
Dude, you don't know what he means by PP either.
Also don't know that.
Is base training specific?
So why don't you answer the second one first? He asks if you intentionally split between your gravel and mountain bike during the base season.
Yeah, so I mean, I ride a lot on the road too. In fact, I probably do more road riding than I do mountain biking or gravel riding. by quite a significant margin. Like I probably do 70% of my training on the road and maybe 15 and 15 mountain and gravel, which might be surprising to some people, but
Is that year round or just in the base season?
no, it's probably year round. I mean, maybe I do a little bit more gravel and mountain bike if I've got a gravel or mountain bike event coming up. Like for example, leading up to Leadville, I pretty much just rode the 3 weeks leading into Leadville, I pretty much just rode my hardtail on the Leadville course. So
okay. Yeah.
And then like
Okay.
leading into Unbound, I was like 90% gravel riding. So,
Yeah. So what about like as far as like the specificity of it?
yeah, and then I guess the question is like, do I try to intentionally split time between the two, or do I just ride whatever I feel like doing on that day? If I have intervals to do, I'm going to be on the road, and then every other day it's kind of, I'm going to be doing an endurance ride, and I kind of just do whatever I feel like. If I feel like I want to ride the mountain bike, I ride the mountain bike at endurance pace. If I feel like I want to ride the gravel bike, I ride the gravel bike at endurance pace. If I want to ride the road, then I ride the road at endurance pace. It's like, I don't think I intentionally say like, okay, I need to have 30% of my training be off-road this week and 70% be road. It's just kind of how it ends up working out. I don't know why he specifically asked me that question. I don't, if you guys have answers to that question that are different than mine.
Well, I mean, I don't have the terrain like you do. Here we pretty much have like you can ride road, you can ride bike path, or you can ride gravel. And you can ride trails too, but there's only like, I don't know, 15 miles of trails. So like you get to do a bunch of loops and stuff. So, I mean, I probably do 75% of my training on gravel, but I split the time between bikes based on whatever race I have coming up. It's like Leadville, I did all my gravel rides on my hardtail. And then Big Sugar, I did like all my rides on the gravel bike. Like, I don't know, I just usually 2 or 3 weeks before I just switch to whatever bike I'm going to be using. And then it doesn't matter what terrain I'm riding. I just ride whatever. But I don't think it really matters in the base season. I actually think it yeah, I mean, I think like intervals, like I think it's nice to do it on whichever bike you race on primarily, just so you get used to like the position and stuff like that. But I mean, I think in general, like you're just trying to build general fitness. Like look at Keegan and Russell, like they're going to spend a ton of time on their road bikes this winter, and both of them primarily race off-road. What about you, Scott? Do you even have anything other than a road bike? You have cross bikes, I
Not
guess.
to have anything. Got a lot of bikes for sale, actually.
Nice. You want to post them for sale on the podcast? What do you got?
Dude, I have a ton of bikes that I need, that they're not currently for sale, but I need to sell them.
Put them out there. What do you got?
I've got so many, dude.
I've got a mountain bike.
My
bikes.
My shed is full of old Niners that I still haven't sold.
Well, nobody wants those, so you should just take them to the local dump.
Yeah.
Do you still have that one that you like destroyed when you crashed because you had no rear brake? Remember that?
Yes, I still have that one.
That one is trash.
Yeah. I was following Scott down this was like when Scott was living with me over the winter. I was like following him down a gravel descent, and this bike, like you squeeze the rear brake and it does absolutely nothing. Like you probably accelerate, if anything. Your rear brake doesn't do anything. So we were going down a gravel descent, and I don't know, Scott felt the need to stop for some reason.
I think like my bottle fell out or something.
Yeah, your bottle fell out, so he like slammed on the brakes. So then I slammed on the brakes, but when I slam on the brakes, like literally,
it was like in a turn, and you just slammed on your front brake and just ate so much shit.
Yeah, dude. And then the most embarrassing part of the story is that I didn't really get that badly hurt from the crash. But then when I got back, I had like road rash or gravel rash or whatever, and I just jumped in the shower. Like I didn't like test it first to see if it would hurt. I just jumped straight in, and it was the worst pain I'd ever felt. And I like passed out from the pain and hit my head on the toilet.
You like legit passed out?
I legitimately passed out from the pain. It was so
What?
painful.
Dude, I've never experienced pain enough to where it like made me black out.
That was, I mean, that was one of the few times in my life that the pain was so bad that I passed out from it.
It's pretty wild. And then you got a concussion, you said, from hitting the toilet?
I don't know if I got
Are
a
you
concussion.
sure? Are you sure
but...
you didn't pass out and Scott gave you a swirly?
Well, Scott wasn't there.
Oh.
So yeah, I woke up and I was like on the bathroom floor and the toilet seat was broken, so I just I assume that's what happened.
Anything could happen in between. I mean, you were naked in a bathroom. So.
I know,
Yeah.
dude.
Naked, blacked out in the bathroom.
What was happening to you?
Yeah. Scott,
All
you
right,
got anything else to add here? Or are we good to move on?
No. Other than somebody should buy my bikes.
How much are you selling them for? You got to tell the people so they know how much to buy them for.
I've got a mountain bike for like $3,500.
The question is, will you sign them?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You'll sign them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sick. Okay, so this one comes from Dan Walker. 1 race, 3 bikes. Keep in mind, I haven't read like any of these yet, so I have no idea like what some of these even are about.
Good.
He says, okay, came across this video on YouTube of the vegan cyclist doing the best of both in Bend, Oregon. The long and short is the race is 3 parts done, one after the other. 20 miles gravel, 53 miles of road, 15 miles of single track mountain bike. Then he sends a link for the race. There are 2 categories, 1 bike for all 3 sections, or 3 bikes, 1 for each section, road, mountain, and gravel. You'd have to transition bikes for each section. If you were forced to transition between bikes, who among you would do the best? Who among the current American pros would do the best? Do you think this format would ever gain momentum? Dan?
Keegan would do the best.
Yeah.
But that's just because he's the best at like. I don't know.
He's just
Pedaling a bike is like pedaling a bike, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I
you're
do.
still fucking
I do
pedaling.
sometimes think. That, well, I think that there can be a difference when we're talking about climbing versus flat, or if we're talking about like a 20-minute race versus a 10-hour race. But
that has nothing to do with the bike.
Yeah, but you could also say that like a mountain biker needs better technical handling skills than a gravel rider or road cyclist.
But it's not like
I don't know.
You
You know what this race? You know what this race kind of sounds like is rule of 3. But at rule of 3, you have to do it all on one bike. So is this person asking if we have to switch bikes? Who would be the best? I don't really think it matters whether you have to switch bikes or not. Have to switch bikes. Who would be the best? I still think it'd be Keegan.
yeah.
I actually think that the winner of the Lifetime Grand Prix is a pretty good indication of who would be the best at this theoretical event. So,
did
like,
they submit who was
Haley
in
Smith
that
for the women and Keegan for the men is what I would say. What?
Did they notify you if you're in?
No, they do that on Thursday. Is it Wednesday or Thursday that they notify you?
I don't know. I've heard both days. Like when I submitted the thing, it said Wednesday, but then they made a
last
post that
year.
said Thursday.
Last year it was like literally an hour before they made the announcement. The guy called me.
Oh, really?
He said you're.
So they're not like calling people today. Like,
no, they're not gonna. You're not gonna know like days beforehand. You're gonna know like an hour beforehand.
Yeah. But yeah, no. This guy's saying, so like rule of 3, you do it all on one bike. But this race is unique in that you can sign up for the 3 bike category, but it would be like triathlon. So you'd have to like hop off your bike and get on a different bike.
I kind of like it better where you have to use one bike for the whole thing.
Yeah, dude. Then you got to deal with 3 fucking.
Can you
bikes.
imagine? Yeah, like you couldn't even like have 2 homies driving in one car because you have 6 bikes.
I know.
Yeah, or if you had to get on a plane to go.
That's
to
a
this
huge
thing?
pain. Well, it sounds like they've got categories for both.
Yeah, 2
but
categories.
Who the hell is doing the people with no friends?
So okay, so all right. So I'll ask you guys this. So it's 20 miles of gravel, 53 miles of road and 15 miles of single track. Which bike would you pick?
That sounds like the kind of ratio that you see in a BWR race. Like, the distance is a little shorter than a BWR race, but the ratio sounds like what you would see in a BWR race.
I'd pick a cross bike.
You mean a gravel bike?
Same shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, a gravel bike.
Yeah.
Probably a gravel bike with wide tires. Like the widest tires that you could fit on them.
Yeah.
Is what I would go for. Was that even his question, though? His question is who would do the best, right? Which
Yeah.
I think
So
we answered.
no. So his original question was, if you were forced to transition between bikes, who among you guys would do the best? And then he asks, like, who in the American pro scene would do the best? I don't know.
Yeah.
My vote would be Scott. I think Scott would whoop all our asses.
Yeah, I
Who
agree with
cares?
Actually, Scott maybe would lose. Well, no, you do have a mountain bike. I was going to say, because he doesn't have
I can
enough
ride a mountain
bikes.
bike.
Dude, Scott's
No,
really
I'm not
good
saying
at
you can't ride a
riding
mountain bike. I'm saying that you wouldn't have a mountain bike to use, but you do have a
Oh,
mountain
like
bike.
own one.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't
Well,
even
hopefully not, if anybody buys it.
honestly, I'm skeptical that if you could switch between bikes, that would actually it would be faster, especially for the mountain bike section.
Do you think you'd make
Yes,
up
it would
enough
be
time
faster.
for the
What?
transition?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like,
Yeah, I
how
guess
fast is this transition? Like, is it a cyclocross bike swap?
Yeah,
Or
that'd be
is
pretty
it-
fast.
Yeah.
If it's 50 miles
Dude,
of road,
so in the apparently in the Pisgah stage race, you're allowed to switch bikes mid-stage.
are you going to do that?
You mean mid-race,
Nah,
like for each stage?
Like, literally in the middle of the stage, you can switch bikes. So you could ride a gravel bike up the gravel climb, and then like at the top switch to your enduro bike and come bombing down, and then at the bottom switch back to your gravel bike. Like, you would definitely need some sort of pit crew person out there handing
So
you your bikes.
anywhere on
with it.
course, you can just have someone meet you with a bike?
Dude, apparently, yeah. I've talked to the promoter about this.
I've never heard of
If anyone is
doing
taking that race that seriously, they need to find something else to do.
Yeah.
Then you'd have to have like staff out
I know,
there,
you
like-
would
Yeah,
have to.
like driving
Yeah,
your
for
bikes
sure.
around and shit.
Yep.
And like that would be difficult. You could do like one switch.
You can't
right?
even do that in like a cross-country mountain bike race. Like, you have to finish
know.
on the same bike.
Yeah, I know. Crazy. Anyway, let's go
Okay.
on to the next question.
Yeah, we got another one. Okay, so this one comes from Daniel, longtime listener, but it's a question from his friend Nathan Haas. I don't know, Nate.
Dude,
why don't you
Daniel's
hit us up?
basically part of the podcast at this point. Regular
Yeah, dude.
listeners, they all know Daniel.
Yeah, he's like the primo listener for sure. So this is not a question I have. This question is from Nathan Haas, but probably also something on the mind of European and African cyclists who want to do gravel in America. If I can only afford to be away from my family for 1 month in the U.S., what dates/month would you pick? So based on 2022, the Dutch Mafia campaigned at Gravel Locos, Rule of Three, and Unbound. We also saw Team Amani attend Leadboat, Gravel Worlds, and Vermont Overland. It would be interesting to hear your thoughts on what might be better, or what might be a better month to visit, late May/early June or all of August. What is different this year is that you can now only do 3 races since Steamboat moved back one weekend, which then made Gravel Worlds move back another weekend. So now it's the same weekend as Overland. Regards, Daniel. So basically, like anyone abroad, like if you want to come race in the U.S. for a month, when would you come?
Yeah, I think if you have 1 month to race gravel in the US, the choice is obvious. Like, you have to choose May into June. You get Gravel Locos, you get Unbound, you get Rule of Three. Now you get BWR Canada, if you want to do that.
It's not in the
You
U.S., dude.
You get BWR. Yeah, but it's the same continent. You get BWR Asheville.
So, okay,
I mean-
yeah, but let's talk about this though. So you can race in Texas, and then you can race in Kansas, and then you can go all the way to British Columbia, and then you can go all the way to Asheville. Like, that sounds not all that doable.
Yeah, but that's America. It's
I know.
massive.
So maybe there's another month that you could pick that would have like 3 races in close proximity.
Well,
But the other month you said
Texas
was
and
like
Kansas is pretty close. And you got to remember rule of 3 is in there. So you could do Texas, Arkansas, Kansas. That's 3 that are like all within pretty close driving distance,
Okay.
and they're
Yeah,
big
that's
deal
fair.
races.
pretty close. Those are still pretty fucking far.
Driving.
well,
though.
it's I
Like,
mean
you
it's
could-
the
you could have
U.S.
one
like,
rental car.
You can't have them all in the same like.
They should start doing that. They should coordinate locations.
Yeah.
It would be pretty sick if it like went like circumnavigated the U.S. So it kind of like started in the Southwest and then it kind of
Don't
looped around.
bands do that when they go on tour.
Yeah.
They go from like one city to the next.
Yeah,
It could
like,
be
if
like
you, if you
that.
follow the tour, like it actually makes sense driving wise.
Yeah.
Mhm. I want to figure
yeah, I don't
out
know if there's a
why
better
the
month than
Lifetime
that.
Grand Prix doesn't have a single race on the East Coast. What's up with that?
Yes,
Like a national series and the East Coast isn't represented at all.
they
some
had
BS.
another race. There was a race up in, I think it was in New York or maybe Vermont, somewhere up northeast. But I think Lifetime actually dropped that event. It was one of the Lifetime or Leadville
Why?
qualifiers.
Is there like
I don't
not
know.
enough people participating or something?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was called. Something like White Mountain or Green Mountain or something up there. Well, so like in August you've got Leadville, Steamboat. What else is out that way?
Yeah.
Leadville, Steamboat, and Gravel Worlds. I mean, those are all pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still Gravel Worlds would still be like a 8-hour drive.
Yeah. I mean, I just don't. Leadville, Steamboat, and Gravel Worlds. 2 of those are at altitude, which I don't think Europeans are going to be that thrilled about.
True.
Um,
And all 3 of those are hard events.
Yeah, and plus you would have to bring over a mountain bike for Leadville as opposed
True.
to just bringing a gravel bike. Honestly, I'm sticking with May to June is when you got to come for.
Yep, I like it.
All right, next one.
Okay. This one comes from Gerardo Dozal Barriga. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Hey guys, I have a question for you. Because of my job, I can't ride as much as I used to, and I am planning on buying a new bike. If you could only have one bike, which one would you choose? A gravel bike, a CX bike, a road bike, or a hardtail mountain bike? Oh, sick.
Wow.
Greetings from Chihuahua, Mexico, and a big thumbs up for your podcast. Dude, that's sick. We got listeners in Mexico?
One bike.
What would you say, Scott?
What
If
was
you
the
could only have
question
one
again?
bike. If you could only have one bike, what bike would you pick?
Probably a road bike.
Well, he is literally a professional road racer, so
Yeah.
that makes sense. Like literally, professional road racers, a lot of them don't even ride any other bike other than a road bike.
Yeah.
Scott, how often do you ride something? Well, now you're in cross season, but like take cross season out of it. How often do you ride something other than road?
Probably never. Like this year,
Yeah.
I probably didn't ride my mountain bike once.
Except
So,
for those races.
You literally raced.
You got a UCI
Yeah,
podium.
I did do mountain bike. I did a few mountain bike races, but I would just like ride it like the day before to make sure it worked, and then raced it.
I feel like you don't
Dude,
live in a
that's
good
baller.
area for mountain biking. Like if you live down here, you
No,
probably
Yeah,
ride it
but
more.
I live like a mile from like probably 30 or 40 miles of trails.
What trails?
It's like called like Gunpowder State Park. They're like not like they're like pretty, chill trails, but like it's
like you
still-
can ride those on your cross bike?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Okay. Okay,
That's
so
what I've been
Scott would
doing.
have a
It's more
road
fun,
bike.
honestly.
Yeah, I mean
What
probably
would you pick?
probably a gravel bike because a gravel bike you can theoretically ride mountain bike on, even though it sucks.
Yeah, but it's not good for anything except riding gravel, which like isn't that cool.
Yeah, so,
Yeah, but
so,
you can put road tires on it, and it's like basically a road bike, depending on which gravel bike you have.
well, you got to have one of those Aero Factor bikes.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I was getting at.
So I'm gonna go the other way. I would pick the hardtail mountain bike. So you can ride literally anything on the hardtail. You can ride on the road. It sucks, but you can still do it. You can ride gravel, and it's awesome because you've got suspension. And then if you want to ride trails, it's like literally made for that. Especially like Gerardo says he doesn't have that much time to ride. So like if you're not riding all that much, just go have fun on mountain bike trails.
I think the biggest, I mean, the question that we need to ask him is like, what, first of all, if he races, what kind of racing does he do? And then second of all, like, what is the majority of the riding that he does currently? Because like maybe this guy rides mountain bike like 10% of the time and you're telling him to get a hardtail mountain bike.
I mean, I've never ridden bikes in Mexico, but it's like pretty mountainous there. So I don't know. I'm trying to look it up, see where Chihuahua, Mexico is. It says Chihuahua is a state, so it must be like a region. Yeah, dude, this is like northern Mexico, dude. It's like super mountainous there. Yeah, you should get a mountain bike, man. It's gonna be way better. Like there's probably tons of sick like dirt roads and stuff. I would say the only reason you would not get a mountain bike would be if you're like planning on going on group rides with people who are on the road, or if you're doing any kind of like road or gravel or cross racing, like anything that's specific where you'd need something other than a mountain bike. But if you're just like generally riding, I would do the mountain bike. Oh, we lost Scott. Where'd he go?
Yeah, I think we lost him.
I think we lost him physically and mentally about 10 minutes ago. Oh, he's back.
Fucking Wi-Fi.
Dude, yeah, so you're ripping on my Wi-Fi. I think it was your problem.
Well, at least mine like works when it's working. It just completely cuts out.
All right, so
okay.
So in conclusion to the last question, all three of us had a different answer.
Okay, so Gerardo, let us know. Hit us up after you buy your bike, and let us know so we know who was right.
All right, next question.
Okay, this one comes from Carson Turner. Hey, y'all, I was listening to your podcast, your most recent episode on the podcast where you bros speculate about the age limit imposed by Lifetime for its races, and I have a theory about this I wanted to share. I think that because certain Lifetime races allow a lottery entry, like Leadville, Lifetime has made it a standard policy to not allow anyone under 18 to race for consistency with gambling laws.
Gambling laws.
I believe this to be the case with lottery entries from Leadville qualifiers, since I have been denied entry into Leadville lottery at Austin Rattler twice since I'm under the age of 18, according to race organizers. I know that in Texas, minors aren't allowed to enter raffles, so I assume this might be the case for other states that Lifetime operates in. Thus, the policy denying minors as a whole for the Lifetime Series and the Leadville 100. Not sure if this makes sense or if there's a better reason to deny the young, fast guys a chance, but I love the podcast and I hope Dylan recovers soon. What are you recovering from?
Dude, he's sick.
Dude, I almost died, man.
You're sick. I thought he was saying he got hurt or something. I forgot about that.
No.
So I don't know, Carson. That's an interesting take. I've never like thought of bike like race entry lotteries as like real lotteries, like gambling.
Dude,
I don't know if it falls under it, though. Maybe it does.
I've actually used that analogy before. When deciding to do a race based off of the prize money, it's kind of a gamble, right? Because, so for example, like if there's a race that I think I have a really good shot of winning and the prize money is like $500, but the entry fee is $150, and then I got to drive there, which is like $50 in gas. So it's like $200. So I could potentially make $300, but in order to actually make $300, I've got to win the race. And it's not guaranteed that I win the race. It's like, there's a possibility that I have a bad race and I don't win any money. And then I've lost $200.
Dude,
so
that's called being a professional athlete.
I guess. Sure. I feel like I made those calculations a lot, like a couple of years ago when I was actually relying on prize money.
When that $200 actually made a difference.
Yeah, when I was like, when like winning $200 or $300 meant that like I could pay rent the next month, which was a very brief period of my life.
Yeah, I mean, Honestly, I wish bike racing at like the elite level had more of that, like more gambling incentives and stuff. That's like one of my favorite things about the game of golf is like gambling is just like part of it.
You want professional bike racers to lead riskier lives.
Financially, sure. Let's put some money on the line.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like make the race entry for the elites. Like everyone always complains that the elite race entry is too much. And I agree only if the extra fees are not going directly to the prize purse. But like if you want to charge every elite racer $500 and all of that extra money goes towards the prize purse, then like it's kind of game on.
I don't think so we've strayed really far away from this guy's original question.
Sorry,
this
Carson.
guy's saying that like the reason why the Lifetime has a blank, and I don't know if this is true or not. This is just some random guy emailing us. He could be right, he could be wrong, but like he's saying the reason why the Lifetime has this blanket policy that they won't let people under 18 in is because a lot of these races are lottery, and a lottery is considered gambling. The only reason they have this lottery in the first place is because so many people want to get in. I don't see that. It's not the same thing as gambling. Like I feel like that needs to be separate from gambling law. Like it's not the same thing as gambling in my mind.
Yeah, I don't know if that distinction can be made. Partly because they charge you like. When you sign up for the race, like it literally says, like if you make the lottery, we are going to charge your credit card like instantaneously.
Mm-hmm.
So like you sort of are like, in a lot of them, you actually have to put like a deposit down. So I don't know if like that makes it complicated. When I was reading his question though, it did bring up an interesting point. Like if a kid who's 16 enters the lottery for Leadville and doesn't tell his parents, like, and then all of a sudden he gets in and like his credit card gets charged $500, like I don't know, maybe that's why, like because then they have to worry about parental consent and stuff like that.
Hold on, I'm pretty sure I got a DM from a guy that said he was 17 that said he applied for the Lifetime series. Let me see if I can.
Well, anyone can apply, right?
Don't call him out for it, man. Don't ruin his chances.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. This guy is definitely 18. Let him in. Yeah, dude, I'm reading it right now. I mean, I'm not gonna say his name while we're recording, but this guy says that he's 17 and he's got a 6 watt per kilogram, 20-minute power.
What? Who's this guy? I'm just kidding. Don't say his name.
Dude, he's coming for Keegan though, dude. 6 watts per kilo.
Sick. That would be sick. I remember I was at I think it was Epic Rides Carson City when Riley Amos was, I want to say 16, and he finished like 3rd overall. And that was kind of like the first time like anyone like really realized what kind of potential that kid had. And now he's freaking good. Okay. We got more questions. Should we keep going, or what's Dizzle doing?
Yeah. Let's keep going. He said something about hanging out with his kid or something.
Oh, okay. So he's not coming.
He'd rather hang out with his kid than record with the bros.
Put the kid on the pod.
I know. Scott says they're doing boring listener questions anyways, so you're not missing much.
Dude, Daniel must email us so much. Like his emails get automatically marked as like important.
All right.
Okay.
Let's answer more questions before we get to
this. So this one comes from Matt Dustin. He says, currently it sounds like y'all race road, TT, cross, gravel, and mountain bike. Who has raced?
Do we race TT?
I mean, Scott does, I guess.
I've participated in a few.
Yeah.
Do you have a TT bike?
Like, do I own one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I have a broken one.
Oh. Okay.
But like, I'm gonna have a different one.
Nice.
To like do
the
a
team
TT
has
on.
one for you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not gonna own it.
Yeah.
Okay, so who has raced or participated in the remaining UCI events, aka BMX, track, trials, esports, and he says and indoor events. I'm not sure what that means.
Like track racing.
He already specified track.
Indoor events? If esports,
Maybe he's talking about
it
like
could be fuck, what's it called?
Zwift,
Like bike polo or something? Is that a thing?
a UCI category.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
But there is like bike gymnastics.
Fuck, what is it? Hold on, I'm on the website.
Oh yeah, it does say indoor cycling. He literally just copied and pasted from the UCI thing.
Paracycling.
Paracycling. I
No,
don't know what
you know-
indoor cycling refers to.
It's like it's like bike soccer, basically.
Really?
I don't know what the actual name of it is.
I can't believe the UCI oversees that.
It's cycle ball or
No. There's different. Yeah, there's tournament. There's cycle ball, which is like a tournament. But then there's also artistic cycling. So I think you were both right because you said something about gymnastics or something.
Yeah, it's like they ride these fixed gear bikes and they do like wheelies in a circle, but instead of sitting on the seat, they're like sitting on the handlebar and like pedaling backwards at the same time.
I'm
Like,
looking at
what-
pictures right now. This is
thing
crazy.
they do
There's like tandems, but are two people on one bike.
Yeah. They're actually,
What?
dude, it's actually so impressive, and I feel like nobody knows about
How is
that
this
sport.
not an Olympic sport, but like
I
every
know
other
it's
gymnastics
it's actually so impressive when you see it. Like your mind is blown by how good these people are riding these like artistic bikes, and yet no one knows about that sport.
Dude, yeah, they
at
want to
all.
get cyclocross in the Olympics, but they won't allow indoor cycling. Come on, no one's gonna watch cyclocross. Dude, yeah, look at this track or cycle ball. Have you seen this, Scott?
cycle ball. Yeah, I'm looking at the Wikipedia article right now.
Dude, this looks wicked. Also, these dudes
It's
are
soccer on
yoked
bikes.
too.
That's pretty much what it is, right?
Yeah, but the crazy thing is they're on like 1-to-1 fixed gear ratios.
Yeah, I know.
Like the bikes look crazy.
It's like really, like an indoor bike is very specific.
yeah,
And also, like, they've got road handlebars that are, like, flipped up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sort of have like backwards, like I don't know, mustache like handlebars or something. Like they're really weird bikes. This dude's like doing this crazy goalie save, dude. What is going on? This yeah. I gotta like watch some videos or something of this. So it sounds like none of us have ever done that.
I've never done that, no.
At least not intentionally.
I spent some time on a fixed gear bike when I was, like, 13, 14, but... it was
Yeah, I mean,
long
I've got a
time
fixed gear bike that I commute on, but
John, those
it's
are
not like
things
a
that you just
UCI
like, shouldn't
discipline.
say out loud.
ago.
Have you guys ever done BMX track trials or esports?
I haven't done any of those.
No.
I don't really plan to either, to
Scott?
be honest with you. Looks like
Is he
Scott's
frozen again?
Is it fucked?
Yeah, I've never done. Like I've never even done like a Zwift race.
Yeah, I don't really want to do a Zwift race. Have I done a Zwift race? I've ridden a little bit on Zwift. I'm not really that into it, to be honest with you. Maybe I'm not that into it because I don't have to ride on the trainer. Maybe if I had to ride on the trainer in the winter, I'd be like more of a Zwift fiend. But I don't know, just not that into Zwift.
Yeah, I like when I ride the trainer, I'd rather like do something that I can't do when I'm riding my bike outside, which is like watch TV, like watch YouTube or something.
I will say that when I ride the trainer, I have a really hard time focusing on like a movie or something. Like if I have to watch a movie, an hour will pass and I will have no idea what happened in the movie. It's like
Yeah, but
I
at least-
don't know
I
why
mean-
I can't concentrate on any sort of story while I'm riding a bike.
Are you
I can
riding
listen to-
hard? Like you doing intervals?
No, dude, I'll just be doing endurance pace and I have no idea what happened. It's like, I mean, I can listen to a podcast and I can understand what's going on in the podcast, but if it's like a movie with a story, I can't follow it if I'm on the train.
What about you, Scott? Can you watch movies on the trainer?
I don't ride the train.
Wow.
So
Dude,
that's
in
no.
college, you
practice.
rode the trainer all the time. You literally
That
created
is not true at all. That is the most untrue thing I've ever heard of
Dude,
my
you
life.
literally created like a pool of sweat in like the
I
student
probably rode the
lounge.
trainer 3 times my whole college career.
No, dude, I was there.
I made an impact the one time I did on that
No,
broom
dude,
I was riding it.
I was literally there. Like there was a pool of your sweat stained into the floor in the like student lounge.
From one ride, yeah. One massive trainer ride.
Dizzle, what's up?
All right, now we can talk about like actual stuff.
What did I just walk?
Hold on,
into?
hey, yeah, Drew, you might have actually done some of these. So this is the last listener question, and they were asking if any of us had done any of the other UCI disciplines, other than road, time trial, cross, gravel, or mountain bike. Have you participated in BMX, track, trials, esports, or indoor cycling? And don't
You
ask
thought
what
that
indoor is. We already went through that.
You thought that I would have. Which one did you
I
think
thought you
I
would
would
have raced on the track.
Yeah, have you not raced track?
No.
You
Why'd
just
you guys think
married
that?
Your
track
wife
racer?
your wife is literally a track national champion, and you've never raced on the track.
I'm gonna have to send her this clip now because both of you guys at the same time said, "Oh, we just assumed you were a track racer because your wife was such a good track racer."
Yeah, dude.
She's gonna love that.
Doesn't
No,
she
she
have
is, yeah.
more national championship titles than you have?
Probably, yeah. Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah, dude.
But no,
So-
I never raced the track. Collegiate mountain bike always overlapped with collegiate track, and Marion won track nats every year because of my awesome wife. So they didn't need me. They needed me for the mountain bike team.
Wow.
So yeah, I never have done track. I tried to ride the Detroit track once when they had just got done building it. It's like a really short one, so the banks are really steep. And there was like a junior kid walking, like leaving, and he had Shimano pedals, and that's what I had my mountain bike shoes with me. I was like, "Hey man, can I ride your bike?" And he was like, "Sure." And so I grabbed his bike and was gonna just ride the velodrome on this kid's bike a couple laps. And I was doing like a couple laps on the apron, and some dude like yelled at me to get off right before.
Really?
I guess they were about to do a workout, and he didn't want me to do the workout with everybody. And I'm like, all right, screw you and your track. And I got off and changed. So I only rode the apron, and it was like, yep, I don't
What is
like
the
track.
apron?
It's like the flat part.
Yeah.
Like in the bottom?
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
The closest that
I had been there I had just got on there and had done like 2 laps, and they were about to do a workout, and I totally could have done the workout. I probably would have like blown them all away. But the guy like didn't know who I was, took one look at me and said, "Get off." And I was like, "All right, you just lost yourself a track rider."
yeah.
The funny thing is CJ was like behind me, and he yelled at me and said, "You off." But then he pointed at CJ and said, "You on." Because he
And
knew
that's-
CJ.
That's when you knew she was the one.
No, that was after we were married, but I just
After
thought
you were
it was
married,
hilarious. Oh, that was hilarious.
Hey, so we
Yeah,
have,
she's from Detroit, so we were up there.
So there's one more listener question, but this one comes from Nick on Instagram. Nick, if you're listening, I actually added this question to the Matchbox podcast because I think it's more relevant on the training show. So if you don't listen to that one, check that show out. And we're doing a listener question series coming up starting tomorrow. So
The Matchbox is the show that's actually about something, whereas this show is just stupidity for an hour.
I think more people
stupidity
like listening
for an hour. What about stupidity for 3 minutes? Like that Instagram reel I keep watching on CX Harris.
That was so dumb.
What? Wait, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Have you watched
You haven't
any of the
seen that
clips
video?
from CX Nats?
I have, yeah.
You haven't seen the 3 minute reel of that
3 minutes
Bill
of
Scheiken
Zen
got?
or something. Yeah.
Of
Yeah,
what?
3
of
minute.
the elite
3
men
min-
just slip sliding down the ice field.
Oh,
pretty
dude, I have
awesome.
not seen that.
I think it's just like 3 minutes of cyclocross Zen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he called it.
I've just seen the clips of like the winners crossing the finish line very dramatically. And that's about it.
Yeah.
I mean, they won the national championship.
Yeah. I guess he could excessively celebrate.
I'm just trying to get Drew worked up.
We'll let him celebrate excessively for that one. I felt for him. I think the Curtis White winning Nats this year is like this neat thing of like, I think everybody is happy for him. It's been such a long time coming that like, I don't think.
Why did it say it was 18 years in the making?
Eric's not happy.
Well, I mean, I don't know. He probably is.
Like,
I bet even Eric is happy for Curtis that Curtis won.
I saw
don't
a
know
couple
about
of
that,
posts that it was 18 years in the making. What is 18 years? Like
I think he's done nationals 18 years,
in a row, and he hasn't won.
and he's never won. But he's gotten second, like
All the way
times.
back to when he was a junior or something. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's not like
Yeah, he's never won nationals. I know that.
like any nationals ever.
Yeah, like collegiate,
Anything.
junior, nothing.
I thought we've already
Gotcha.
talked about this. He's the same age as Logan Owen. So every year, Logan Owen literally won like 10 national championships in a row, and every year Logan Owen won, Curtis White was second, like almost every time.
Yeah.
And so that is why Curtis has never won, because he was always racing.
So if it
against
wasn't for Logan Owen, like Curtis
He
White
would-
would be like a 5-time national champion right now.
or like or even more, yeah,
Wow,
exactly.
man, that is
Dude,
All right,
I was
that
gonna,
makes sense.
Dylan, I was going to send you
I
this
didn't know
video,
all the
but I
history, to
can't
be
find it.
honest with you.
Yeah. The fun stat is like in the last 3 years he's gotten second at Nats, but to 3 different people. Like, so every year he just keeps getting leapfrogged like by a new rider. It's just kind of funny.
Yeah, I think they were
So,
saying that he had like
yeah.
8 or 9 second places.
Holy crap!
Yeah.
Oh my
So
God.
like, dude,
Yeah,
you gotta,
no,
you
yeah,
gotta
yeah.
be happy for the guy now.
Yeah, for
like,
sure, for sure.
Everybody's stoked
Have you,
for
Drew
him.
or Scott, have you guys gone back to watch the race at all?
Today I
no.
what?
You say no?
I don't have a Flow Sports, but I did find it on YouTube that somebody had posted the full thing. Like they just
Okay.
screenshotted it from
It,
Flow
it
Sports.
was one of the like more exciting nationals races we've had, like in the last
Between
probably
those
5 years.
Just because of those two, right? Nobody else was. It's just
Yeah,
those
no one
two,
else
right?
was even close. But
Yeah.
the
Gaps.
I mean,
first-
it was
the first
very,
lap,
it was
like,
very
Lance
close
was up there,
even
but-
by the last lap. Like the
Yeah.
last lap was like it wasn't certain that Curtis was going to win.
Yeah.
oh no, for
Agreed.
sure. So about halfway through, it was like pretty. I thought like everyone thought Bruner had it locked up. Like he had a huge gap and was riding super strong, and he made like 2 mistakes and like with like 3 laps to go, and Curtis started like clawing his way back, and then I think Curtis didn't catch him till like 2 laps to go maybe, and then they lapped Scott, and that was cool.
They didn't let me. I got fucking pulled.
Whatever. And then
Scott, you got
and then,
pulled?
Yeah.
That's embarrassing, man.
What happened to your bike? You
My
were ahead
bike
of me.
fucking
You were ahead of
broke.
me, and then I saw you stopped with your
no,
bike.
dude, your
and I
bike's
was like,
awesome. That's why you're selling it. Whoever
Oh, yeah.
His
Yeah.
bike worked perfectly. Wink, wink.
I must have crashed and bent my derailleur hanger.
Mm.
Well, I crashed like once. If you don't count crashing while like
Dude,
running.
Should have
Does that
ran
count?
a single speed, man. It's the cool
Yeah,
thing to
sure.
do.
Did Ben Frederick race on a single speed during the race?
Yeah.
I bet you we raced on both.
I quit.
No, I think he was exclusively on the single speed all weekend.
No, I doubt it.
Dude, that's what he keeps keeps saying on Instagram. Like you mentioned that
I
he
know,
like
but I've been
switches
like
between
hanging
the
out with him
two.
at the races, and he switches from his single speed to his geared bike.
But does he have like it locked out or something so he can't shift it?
No. Like even in the like dry races, he'll switch halfway.
Dude, that's
And finish on his geared bike.
bogus then, because he is like totally trying to play to the heartstrings of all the single speeders.
Dude, did you not see the single speed clout check?
No.
I don't
You
know
didn't
what that
see
is.
Max chances? You know
No.
how Bill
Oh,
Shiken
what-
does like a heat check?
Yeah.
Well,
Mhm.
it's on Instagram. Go to Max's Instagram. He did it's called a clout check for the single speed race. And there's like a shot. Ben was featured, and there's like a shot of it, a photo of him, and then it pans down to his bike, and he's like, he knows everything about single speed, but then the photo is of a geared bike. because he's like also
Nice.
rides gear. Like, it's not like he's like only riding a single speed.
Dude, I didn't know that. He makes it seem like he exclusively raced the single speed all year.
No, he'll, like a few times I know he's just like changed to his geared bike. Sometimes he'll do the whole race on a single speed. Or like if it's muddy, like I think he did this at Charm City where he like had half the race where he was on a single speed that was advantageous for that half of the course, and then half was on a geared bike. Like at Nationals, you could probably do that, but I don't know. Anytime you're going uphill, you were running, so it didn't
Was
really
that maybe
matter.
because he doesn't have two single speed bikes?
Probably has something to do with it, or like you could set one up single speed, but then you have to like if you only have two bikes, you want to train on
that
a
is a
geared
problem.
bike.
Doesn't he also
pain in the
race
ass.
on like a steel frame?
Yeah, he races on a steel frame.
What is that about? What is this, like the freaking
I think it's just a sponsor.
1980s? What is his sponsor that makes a steel frame bike?
Richie.
Oh,
Dude, I didn't even know Richie made bikes until he started riding them.
Well,
I thought they like
that's a good
only made
sponsorship
stems
there,
and
right?
I guess,
Yeah.
yeah. I also didn't know they made single speed bikes until he started riding a single speed.
Well, can't you make any bike into a single speed?
Yeah, but like not like a great single speed, and it's not like if you want to get clout points, dude, you don't run like a tensioner. That's like negative 1,000 clout points.
Attention.
I think if I was ever to go back to single speed, like mountain bike racing, I would run a full suspension with
With a derailleur.
Yeah, with a derailleur that I could shift if I wanted to.
Dude, go watch the Clout Check. It got like 15,000 views.
Really?
Dang.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's kind of a lot for like.
That's
That.
a lot.
I'm surprised that many people care about that.
Was this is on Max's Instagram page?
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, fun fact, I sold my Forerunner to Max like 3 months ago.
Really?
Yeah.
What's a foreigner?
And you didn't follow him on Instagram?
Forerunner.
To watch, dude. To watch.
No, dude, my freaking Toyota Forerunner.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Sick.
Should I play it so that like the podcast can listen to it too?
Listen to what?
No.
The Clout
The
Check,
Clout
dude.
Check.
It's
Yeah,
a video, isn't
I
it?
want to hear it real quick. Let's hear it.
Dude, I'm in this shot. I'm in there. You see me?
Hello, Cyclocross friends, and welcome to the CX Cloud Check presented by the Normal Podium Network and the Single Speed Bulletin. We've had an exciting week of Instagram posturing for the Cyclocross National Championships that doesn't actually matter. Let's start.
That's
Let's
pretty
start with
good.
the women. In 5th place, Ivy, because she's staying over there and she'd be mad if I didn't include her in the list. Catherine Cummings in 4th, because Jalapeno Cycling is a fucking sick team name. 2nd place, Sophia Russenberger, because she can mosh like a crazy person at Single Speed Worlds. And obviously, the champ, Sunny Gilbert, because she won Single Speed Worlds, and none of the other girls on the list have. In the men, 5th place goes to Ben Frederick, because you can ask him anything about cyclocross. That's single speed.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, we weren't. Because...
What happened?
This is live. Because he published his gear ratio on Instagram, and it was not that impressive. 3rd place goes to 2017 Tobin, because... And I heard he's keto again. Kind of sick. 2nd place, Jake Wells, unless there's another relegation. And in 1st place, might come to a surprise, but Eric Bruner decided to do day of registration, and it's not very muddy anymore. Not very many opportunities for him to crash. Like, comment, subscribe.
There you go. Stop.
Nice. All right.
There you go. Single speed Clout Check.
Nice.
That's
I
pretty
think
good. That was funny.
What was the delegate or relegation for?
Oh, because last year in single speed nationals, Casey Hildenbrandt or something.
Yeah.
He he came into the pit. I think he was third or second in the race or something, but got relegated because he came into the pit and like his bike wasn't ready and he was just standing there. But then
Casey
Casey. But then the alpha guy protested. So that's why it's like funny.
Wait, what did Casey do wrong? I don't understand.
So
he got on the
Casey
same bike.
didn't.
You have to observe it.
Casey didn't switch bikes.
Or all you have to do is like put a wrench in your bike.
What's wrong with that? Why does he got to switch bikes?
Because you can't come into the pit and not do anything to your bike.
Yeah.
Really?
So the interesting thing is that's a USAC rule, not a UCI rule. So like if that was the UCI race, he would have been fine. But because
What's
it was
the UCI rule?
UCI rule, you just have to dismount.
No, it used to be a rule, and that used to be that rule where you had to put 2 feet on the ground and get back on.
Yeah, isn't that still the rule?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
anyways.
But now that we're talking about this, I remember doing that in one of the World Cups last year.
What?
Like I came in and saw that it wasn't the right tires on my bike or something, and I just got off and took 2 steps and got back on, but I guess nobody saw me. But nobody protested.
Ooh.
That was the back, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Breaking the law.
Yeah. What about Wout? Like he's running through the pit area, but he's not actually in the pit area, and then he has to turn around and go back around.
As long as you don't pass like the exit of the pit, you can turn around and run backwards on the course and go into the entrance. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Man, these are really
like the
specific
pit
rules.
zone sort of extends onto the course.
How much would it change cyclocross if you couldn't switch bikes? Like you just had to race the entire race on one bike.
It'd be way better.
A lot of broken stuff.
Dude, I don't know if it would like even work.
If it would even work. I mean, your bike only has to survive an hour.
Yeah, I mean, think about like
they
so
get pretty
muddy
fucked,
that it would just
even
like
if you're
it,
doing
yeah,
it.
you're like so many
Dylan, how muddy
derivatives
was
would be
how
ripped
muddy
off
was
and-
Schwamigan?
It was very muddy.
Yeah, that was 2 hours.
Yeah, my bike was not working very well at the end of the race.
Yeah, like
What is-
it's part of the race is like the strategy is like how clean can you keep your bike so that it's still somewhat
Yeah,
functional.
but you guys were on a groomed mountain bike trail. Sometimes these cross races
this
are
is
through
nothing.
It was
There was
it was
nothing
basically a
groomed.
cyclocross course.
There was nothing groomed about Schwamigan this year.
There was sometimes in a cross race, it's like they just cut the grass that week, and the grass before that was like a foot high. So you've got these like super long pieces of grass that just get like bound up into your cassette and all
just
that.
sounds awful, dude. Why would they do
Yeah.
that?
Right, exactly. That's like cyclocross.
Wow, you're really selling the
So
sport. now.
I think arena cross needs to come out.
Yeah, why
think
dude,
cyclocross
What
inside?
if they? What if
Yeah.
you know how they have?
That would be rad.
like
I would sign up for
Supercross?
that in a heartbeat. Then you have all the
Yeah,
fun of cyclocross without all
Supercross,
the
but cyclocross.
suckiness of cyclocross. Because then you could just make the course dry, and you'd only have to have one bike. Just eliminate the pits altogether. That'd be awesome. Yeah. Why hasn't somebody done that?
Dude, I mean that's
Still
what I've been
have
saying
the
for years.
I mean,
barriers.
here's,
Still have the
here's,
running.
like, here's
Yeah,
why
you-
they don't do it is because it'd be really hard to fill up an entire arena to watch a cyclocross race.
You're not.
Do you think they
Yeah.
fill up the entire arena for
yeah.
Supercross the first time
Yeah.
they did it?
Well, the first time I don't know, but they
Yeah, I
definitely
mean,
fill them up now.
But if you want to build a fan base, like it takes some time. I don't know. If you got to book like the
I
bottom
wasn't even
shelf
thinking-
arenas to start with.
I wasn't even thinking there'd be any spectators. I was just thinking
No, dude, that's what would be sick. Like the spectator infrastructure is already there. Like, be easy to televise.
Mhm.
Could like sell snacks.
I mean, out of all of the cycling disciplines, cyclocross is definitely other than like track racing, cyclocross is definitely the easiest one to televise.
Yeah.
Yeah. The problem
I
is
just-
you get a race like Elite Nats, where in the first 3 minutes, half of the field is on their ass sliding down this ice bank, and then it makes the professional side of the sport look like a complete joke. And that's
Yeah.
embarrassing.
I also I think that like your casual viewer who kind of maybe knows a thing or two about cycling, but doesn't follow cycling that much, they just don't understand cyclocross. They're just like, what is this? Why are they on road bikes, but they're off road? I don't get it.
Yeah, there is
I
a lot
don't
of
think
weirds.
your casual cyclist would even really pick up on the fact that they're on like the wrong bike.
Yeah, maybe not.
But yeah, I mean, I think there is like a little bit of like, I don't know. Cyclocross is probably easier to understand than road racing. It's definitely way easier to understand.
I mean, it's
than
not
road
that hard
racing.
to understand. It's just like the gun goes off, and then like an hour later, whoever crosses the finish line first
Right.
wins.
Right.
Whereas
like
road
road
racing
racing, like
can
you
be
think
quite
like
tactical, but
yeah, like you think the guys at the front are winning the bike race, but they're not.
yeah.
I love it when like somebody who doesn't know anything about cycling comes and watches you race, and then afterwards they're like, "You were in first place for like one lap. That was so awesome. You were winning." And I'm like, "Doesn't matter at all."
Yeah. So wait, we haven't even like hardly talked about cross nats other than the fact that Curtis White won.
What else do you want to hear?
Yeah, what do you
I
want
don't
to
know.
know?
Let's hear about how it went for you guys.
This is,
Scott said he had
this is
fun.
what I was saying. This is
Dude,
what
I'll
I was
start.
saying. Like neither one of them want to talk about it.
Well, all right, so I told you I bent
That's
my
accurate.
rim, and then my bike like overshifted into the spokes, and the chain was so jammed in there, like I could not get it out. So I had to run like half a lap, and then switch bikes, and they had to take my cassette off to get the chain out of there.
Yeah.
So then you probably couldn't pit for like another lap or so.
Well, then I got on my other bike, and then I flatted. So then I came back to the pit, and they're on the other side of the pit, still fucking with my bike. And I'm like, hey, like I flatted. And I had the same like group of mechanics as Eric and Funston. So I was like, yeah, you guys should probably like worry about them because I'm like in last place.
Wait,
I
you
wasn't
guys
actually in
you guys
last
were like
place.
sharing pit crews?
Yeah. I like am basically like part of their team. Like we stayed together and
Wow.
Yeah.
had the same. We have like what? 4 mechanics? If you count Max as one.
Oh, okay. So you had to
Like half
okay.
of one.
That's a full crew. Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's enough. Yeah. So they couldn't like you couldn't just put your wheel from the other bike on.
Well, I did, but by the time you do that,
It was like over.
yeah. I also ran half a lap.
Yeah. Yeah, at the
So
start of the
yeah.
race too, I was like, told Allie we were watching it together. I was like, just keep an eye on Scott. I was like, he's a dark
I
horse
had a
here.
horrible start. I missed
then-
my pedal.
Oh, did you really?
And then I was Dizzle, were you on the left on the start?
Yeah, I started right next to you, bro.
I know, but like after we got into the first turn, because like then we crossed that road,
Yeah, I stayed
and there
left.
was a cone there, and I was like, because there had like a little piece of wood so you could get off the curb,
Mm-hmm.
and I just jumped the cone because I was like, oh, I'll just jump this cone,
Yeah.
but I was still inside the barrier. But then the tape was like 5 feet. There was like a gap, like I could have just shot off the course.
Oh yeah. I almost did that too.
I had to make like a 90-degree turn on pavement.
Yeah.
And come back
Yeah.
into the tape.
That didn't happen as drastic, but there was a second where I was like, oh snap, like I'm almost off the course because there wasn't a barrier or nothing. It was like you could have just rode.
Yeah, it was like the
Yeah.
barrier and then the tape, but they didn't line up.
Yeah.
That's probably where they like pulled people at or something.
It was just a crossing where
It was where the cars come
it was
in,
where
so
cars
they-
could go in and
Oh, yeah.
out. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I didn't do it right.
Yeah, no, I had that same thought, like, whoa, almost, like that could have been bad.
So what were your guys' mindsets at the start of the race? Like when the conditions just like literally changed completely.
Dude, I was
in,
pumped.
Like,
I was
5 minutes.
I felt so prepared because they had a bizarre like men's pre-ride right before our race, and I was like, the junior on the team, Gus, was done racing, so I adjusted his seat height to my seat height and took one of his bikes out on the course.
That's kind of smart, actually.
And I was like, oh, I'm going to see exactly what the conditions are like for our race, and I'll have a leg up on everybody. And so that's what I did. 30 minutes before the start of our race, I rode a lap on the course. And I was like, all right, sweet. Like, it shouldn't change that much from now till then. And at that time, that crazy off camber, like, I rode it without even, like, thinking. Like, I just rode it. And so I was like, oh, sweet. Like, it didn't really change that much. There were a couple little sections that had gotten more slick, but that section was totally rideable. And from then to the start of our race, it became chaos, like unrideable. Yeah. So it was like immediately, like from the first lap on, I was like, well, I guess it's just going to be one of those days. Like, it's just hard. It was really hard to stay. Like I feel like a part of racing, you have to be confident in your abilities when you're out there on the racetrack. And I just felt like a total amateur after that first off-camera section. I'm like, what am I even doing out here? So it's hard to overcome that, like in the middle of a race, and keep going hard.
Don't worry, man. You look like an amateur too.
Yeah. Well, I know. I'm thinking like in my head, like every time I came to that section, I'm like, dude, is Brunner and Curtis like riding this? Like, I feel like such a doofus. Like every time I got to that section, I'm like, all right, here goes nothing. And I'm like falling and grabbing these posts. And there's like a one where I'm like literally like hinging my butt off of a post where I'm like using it as balance, but I'm using my butt to do it. it's like so goofy, but I mean, it was,
I mean, in hindsight, I feel like they should have just, I mean, maybe they didn't know it was going to be that bad.
Yeah.
But like they should have just like last minute changed that one feature. Like,
yeah, but like the women were riding it.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I know, that's the crazy
it.
thing. It just froze on you guys.
I think everybody, it's just, yeah.
I wonder if any, like, I don't know, everyone just seemed to just get off their bike. Like, I was practicing, like, doing the dirty side dismount and then grabbing the inside post. And then I thought I was going to have a leg on everybody because everyone was just going to crash.
Yeah.
And I was going to already be off my bike and have gotten around the corner.
Yeah.
Because I was dirty side dismounting. But then...
What is dirty side dismount?
On the drive side, everyone gets off on the non-drive side.
Why?
So
it's like it's like the left-handed. It's like as if you got off your bike on the opposite side, like the left-handed way to get off. It feels really weird. It's hard to do.
Because then I was on the right side of my bike, and it was a right-hand turn, so I could grab the post, and my bike was just swinging on the outside with my left hand.
Yeah.
But then you're on the wrong side of your bike to like run. Because then when you fall into your bike.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I tried riding it every single lap, and I did ride it once.
I saw you ride it once because they like, I mean, that was like the highlight. I mean, they just, I felt bad for you guys, but like they kept coming back to that. Like anytime there was like someone crash or whatever into the barriers there, they would like showcase it. But they did show you riding it one time.
Really?
Which is pretty sick,
that was the one time I did. There was one other time where I made it to the last post and like basically ran into the last post. But it was such a huge advantage that I rode it that one lap, and that lap was 30 seconds faster than all my other laps. Yeah.
Nice.
Because then I wasn't the main time saver was when you were running down the hill. Like, because I made it to that turn, I got to ride down that hill and carry all that momentum in that big long straightaway right after it. That alone was like probably 15 seconds.
So it was hard to tell on the camera, but the like off campers earlier in the lap, there was like a section where there was a run up. Like you'd get off your bike, you'd run up, and then people were dismounting and running down the next one, and then running straight into the run up. Like, why weren't you guys remounting and riding down to the next run up?
Because you would have to ride like twice as far down because you wouldn't be able to stop.
Oh, you couldn't.
It was steeper. Yeah, it was steeper than it looked.
There? Okay.
And there were these weird, like, you know how on a farm, like where what are the shells?
Terraces.
Yeah, it was like that. There was like these weird steps kind of built into
you couldn't see that on the camera, I guess.
Yeah, and so riding your bike down those like things would probably huck you over the bars.
Was that hill just like way more dramatic than it looks like on the camera, like steeper?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. That run up right after that, the downhill run that you're talking about was like really hard, like very steep. So you're going to run that right there anyway. So it was safer just to get off and run.
To stay on or stay off your bike. Yeah. I mean, it was pretty wild to like watch the women's race. I only watched like maybe the last 20 minutes, which there wasn't much racing because Clara had already locked it up by then, but I at least like got to see the course conditions, and it was wild how like different the course was. from then until you guys racing like half an hour later?
Yep. I feel like it would have went way different for both me and Scott had the conditions stayed the same. Like, I feel like when the conditions go like utterly crap like that, it becomes such a more.
Well,
like,
it sounds like Scott had a legitimate excuse, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't
But
have
I
any
crashed.
excuses. Yeah, I don't have any excuses. I flatted too, but I was already
yeah.
like, I was already.
I couldn't control
sucking
really,
with
but
I mean, I feel like we both would have done better if it.
What place did you end up in, Drew?
11th.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like 8th.
I was in 8th for like most of the race, and then I flatted and pretty much gave up.
Mm.
I had to like ride the flat for a pretty long time.
Do you think like racing Nats is different? Like the mindset is so different because like you're there to basically win or top 3, and once you're kind of outside that, it's like there's not much incentive to keep racing hard. Like, do you feel
I
like
had that thought.
like do you feel like a 6th place finish gets overshadowed way more in nationals than it does in like a C1?
Probably, yeah. Who got 4th?
Yeah,
I mean, you could say that about
Yeah.
you could say that
There you
about
go.
any race though.
The race just happened 3 days ago, and Adam doesn't know who got 4th place. You know,
But what I'm
I don't
saying is,
remember
you
who
could
got
s-
3rd.
You
Yeah.
could say that about any race, right? You could say it like who
Yeah.
got 4th at any race, who got
right, but I
6th
guess
at any
you'd
race.
expect nationals to be a bigger deal. I don't really know, but yeah, I mean, I definitely like when I was in 8th, I was definitely like, dang, I didn't come here to get 8th place. And when I got the flat tire, it was like just the icing on the cake of like, yeah, I didn't come here to get 8th or 10th or whatever.
Who did
so.
get 3rd though? Was it Carrie?
Carrie
It was
got
Carrie.
Carrie did.
Yeah.
And then who was 4th?
Scott.
Sticks, Funston.
Funston.
Oh, okay, and then Lance. I knew Lance got 5th.
Carrie won the single speed race.
Dude,
Yeah.
Carrie had like his best nationals campaign maybe ever.
Maybe.
What? First at single speed and 3rd at the elite race. That's
Yeah.
probably about as well as he was going to do. You know?
I think, I don't know. He made some comment at North Carolina like he was going there to win.
Well, sure, but like, you know, realistically,
I think those conditions probably helped him.
Yeah.
More than anyone else.
I agree.
I mean, you know, in everybody's head, they're going to nationals to win. But like, if you're being realistic about it, 3rd place and 1st place, it's like that's about as well as you could expect Carrie to do. Am I wrong about that?
No, especially he didn't race like hardly any cross this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Y'all hear about Nats next year?
No.
Louisville,
What about
baby.
it?
Just when I thought I was going to quit cyclocross, and then they pull that one out of the bag.
Yeah, that sucks for you.
Now I got to do it another year.
So you're going to race cyclocross again?
I'll probably pull back a little bit. Like I don't want to travel as much. This year I did like
Why
the
would
whole
you
thing.
wait? Why would you quit cyclocross? It doesn't conflict with crits or anything. You just do it.
No,
and
but
then-
I just I probably won't like quit. I just I want to do more convenient cross. Like I don't want to do the whole traveling to New York and Arkansas. Like probably skip some of the further traveling races and do the ones that are easier for me to do.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And running a team was really hard. Like, yeah, I don't know what that's going to look like next year, but if I'm going to try to like do well at Nats, I probably need to do less of like a team director role.
Yeah,
That was a
I
lot.
gotcha.
So if you're listening and you want to help Drew direct a team, reach out.
Please. Yes. You don't even have to submit a resume. You send me an email and the job's yours. I'll pay you the same salary they paid me this year.
Was $0.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I lost money.
You guys
It's
should go back and watch the single speed race though. I know, Scott, you
Pretty
don't
epic.
care.
Single speed race.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
It was pretty
Scott,
good.
why didn't you do the single speed race?
Because it's like, why is this a thing that everyone does? It's supposed to be for like the people that like are dicking around out there, and now it's like the serious event.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't you ask the same thing?
Dude,
Like, why didn't you race your age group? Like,
Yeah.
couldn't I have raced my age group and tried to get a national championship that way?
I guess I feel like the single speed's more prestigious.
Who cares about what? What do you? What about the elite race?
I mean, the elite race is obviously the most prestigious, but if you're like, hey, I'm a single speed national champion, or hey, I won freaking 19-20, Cat 1, I'm like, I care more about single speed.
I bet you that's why everyone's doing it, is because you care more about it.
Dude, did you guys see single speed world championships?
That's like a joke. Isn't
I know
it?
it's
like,
I know it's a joke, but it's kind of cool at the same time. If it was like,
Dude,
Yeah,
this
it's
is so funny. Is this like the
wild.
first time you've ever heard of this, Dylan?
No,
that
no,
you've
no,
never
no,
heard.
no.
You've
No,
never heard
I've-
of. Okay.
No, I've heard of single speed mountain bike national champion. I've heard about both, but like, is single speed mountain bike national championships not or single
World
speed
championships?
world mountain bike world championships not a
No,
thing
no.
anymore?
So the thing is, like, I think single speed cyclocross worlds is always in the U.S. for some reason, but for mountain biking, it actually travels around the world. So that's why you don't hear about it as much.
Why is single speed world championships
For
for cyclocross only in the U.S.?
I don't know, because I think they started it here.
All right.
And I don't know that like cyclocross isn't as big of a participation sport worldwide.
Yeah.
It's more of a spectator sport.
I feel like, dude, I feel like the world championships for anything cyclocross related has to make its way to Europe at some
but
point.
it's not an actual.
It's not a real-
Yeah.
Real-
Single speed cyclocross worlds was like a bunch of drunk people that
Yeah,
said,
like
let's do this goofy thing and see if anybody shows up.
Like,
And
if
so
you
they
win,
did.
you're forced to get a tattoo.
Yeah, you have to get a tattoo.
So what's more prestigious, do you
They
think?
usually
Like-
it's like who can do the it's like beer hand ups get time taken off and the barriers are on fire and it's like there's shortcuts in the race. It's a bunch of goofy stuff. Yeah.
Sure. Do you think it's more prestigious to win the single speed cyclocross world championships or win your age group at any national championship ever?
Probably the world championships.
Probably the world champs.
Yeah, single speed world champs. People are going to
Yeah.
hear about if you win single speed cyclocross world champs. People are going to hear about it,
Okay.
and that's why it would be a bigger deal.
Yeah,
Do you guys know
Howard
who won it?
Grotz.
Do you know who? Okay, I was gonna say. Do you know who won
Howard
this year?
Grotz and Sarah
Yeah.
Sturm. Like, those are two
Yeah.
legit racers.
Really, Howard Grotz? Were they in Colorado? Like what?
It was
Yeah,
in
it was in
Durango. Yeah,
Durango.
Oh, okay, yeah, that explains.
yeah.
Those are like legit fast racers. Those aren't just random people that like I've never heard of.
Yeah, Kerry Warner's legit too. He won the actual single speed national championships.
Yeah, I know. There you go.
Dude, and it made for a fun race. I think single speed cyclocross should be the next thing for the elites. It should be one bike, single speed. It would equalize the field a lot more, and it'd be really exciting.
Why's it got to be one bike?
Yeah, why does it have to be equalized? The whole point of national championships is to see who's the best. If it was equalized, we all win.
Because then you lose interest. Because Flow Bikes just follows Eric Bruner around for the last 30 minutes. Like because Curtis caught him, like it made it more exciting. But that's always that's like the downside to cyclocross is that once Vanderpool gets off the front, like they literally just only show Vanderpool for like 30 minutes, and you're like, okay, I get it. He already won. Like, what else is going on?
Yeah.
But it's way more exciting when there's like 5 up going to the line.
Yeah. If they made cyclocross less technical, then there'd be more group racing. They'd be more likely to come down to a sprint.
And me and Scott would crash less.
We'd probably win more.
I don't know. I feel like I crashed more.
Yeah, it'd be like more like elbows being rubbed and
Yeah, like I crashed on one of the pavement sections.
I crashed on a pavement section too.
Yeah, they were slick, and like I
They were
even
really slick.
was told to watch out for the pavement sections.
I feel
before
like
the race.
if cyclocross was less technical, Scott would do better because he'd just be able to sit there in the draft and like then if it came down to a sprint, he probably has the best sprint.
So funny hearing Dylan talk about cross. Drafting isn't that big of a thing in cross, even
Yeah,
when
but
there
if it was
aren't
less
that many.
technical and very high
even with
speed.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but even on the straightaways and stuff, it's not that big of a deal.
Okay.
Okay, well, this show is like going to be 2 hours long if we don't stop soon.
All right, well then turn it off. End it.
Yeah.
Bye bye.